podcast you listen. Draft edition. We just got done drafting, and MC is with us with his Bears. Not sure exactly what they drafted, but I know
I can tell you.
Raiders had a really good draft going on this week, and very proud of them for going pretty much all defense. They went defense. They just picked all the defensive players they could get. And so I think that they're really focused on defense this year. But we will see. Because every year I'm excited about the draft, and then shit happens. So we have a whole new team. It feels like we have a whole new team. Doesn't it feel like we have a whole new team, the Raiders?
I think it feels like, in general, it's like the everything resets, like a brand new year. It's like everybody has a chance because we all have new players.
No. The Panthers don't have a chance. They suck.
The Panthers?
Yeah,
that's a crappy division. You know, wouldn't be so fast to.
What happened to your picture? You're just seeing a picture of you in the middle of vegetation pointing at a mountain.
I'm in a mountain right now.
Yeah, did you lose your video?
I'm getting a list of players out.
Oh, list of players. So draft day. This draft day felt a lot like the Kevin Costner draft day movie that came out, because one of the players who did not get picked up in the draft had to wait till round 2, and he was very upset. Do you remember who that guy was?
Will Levis.
Yep. And he was supposed to go early. And all I kept thinking to myself was, Draft Day, the movie, when they don't pick up Bo Callahan. And all he says is, Bo, why didn't anybody go to your birthday party? Can you tell me why? And he's like, I'm not proud of that. He's like, can you tell us why no one went to your birthday party? I feel like that's what they should have done with this guy. You're done picking out your players? You're supposed to be prepared for this shit.
No, I know. I have. We're doing this on the fly. We just came from the draft. I didn't want to call him by the wrong name, and now I can't get rid of the Facebook picture that's frozen in there. That's what I was really doing.
Good looking picture. You just like pointing off into space, like look, a mountain. Whee!
I've defaulted to this, and I can't get it back. Apparently, once you leave the screen.
So we go into the draft picks, and everybody picked. There's lots of quarterbacks that win the first couple of rounds. We went with Bryce Young from Alabama. Bryce Young, everybody was talking about him, not for sure that he's going to be the all-star that they thought he was going to be. I know there were some questions regarding if he could play in the NFL. I think he's the one that's the shorter of the players. They were really concerned. But I think that him going to the Panthers is a bad move for Bryce. I think he's going to be the future, but it ain't going to be for about 3 or 4 years. So they're going to throw him right to the Wolves. They're going to throw Bryce Young right to the Wolves. And so he's going to have to start. And then they went with second-round quarterback with C.J. Stroud. He went to the Texans, another shit team. Another thing that's gonna just stick his ass right underneath.
Tell us how you really feel, Coach Jesse.
Well, they're gonna stick him. They're gonna stick him right under center right away. They're gonna be like, "Dude, save us!" And he's not that guy either. I mean, everybody's got to have time. This dude played in Ohio. He didn't play in Texas. He is not a Texan. So now he's got to go there. He's got to get used to the thing. He's got to play quarterback. Everybody looks at this. It was a good move, but I'm kind of thinking that he's going to get thrown to the Wolves too. So then
everybody's thrown to the Wolves.
Then they went with the edge player. I don't know how the Texans did it, but they traded up, just like the movie Draft Day with Kevin Costner. He trades up with everybody, and he somehow gets the second and third pick. And they pick up this Will Anderson Jr. guy, edge from Alabama. And this guy is going to be he'll start, and he'll probably be a good player for them. Most defensive players do start right away.
What do you think of that trade? They definitely went all in. They got the best defensive player, and I mean, they believe they have the best quarterback too, but I mean, obviously that'll remain to be seen. What did you think of the trade, though?
So I think that teams like this that suck, right? They don't have a whole lot of future in their hands, and they're looking at like, how can we do something that's going to make everybody think that we're awesome? And this reminds me of high school where I coach, because sometimes coaches just say, let's be edgy and see how where it takes us. And it's kind of just rolling the dice, and you're playing. The odds are it's not going to work. And you trading, I think they traded for like a first round pick next year, and they gave away
Yeah,
picks that this draft.
second round for sure.
So, what's the point? The point is they're just trying to pick up players. Now you're putting all your eggs in a basket for two players. You're saying, hey, let's get this guy and this guy. Problem is, you only have two players and you got a 53-man roster. What are you going to do with those two guys if they can't play? What if something happens? They don't pass the math test. They can't graduate. Who knows what the hell happens? These guys have to come out and play their game. If they don't play, then you put away your future. And everybody says that right away. When you get rid of draft picks, you go in, again, the movie Draft Day, watch it. Kevin Costner's awesome in it.
Seems a little like it's scripted, doesn't it?
It's just, it seems a little bit like you don't want to put everything into it. But again, the Texans, being the stupid team that they are, they're like, hey, man, this is it. We're making moves. We're being edgy. We're going to fucking be good. Guarantee next year they suck balls. So mark it, put it down.
I mean, I hope you're right about the Panthers. I don't think the Bears are getting a top 10 draft pick next year. I mean, unless Bryce Young completely just blows, but I mean, they had a defense on the rise. I mean, it wasn't by statistically, if you were to look on paper, great, but it's still known as, a rising D. And then, they surrounded him with Adam Thielen and at least a couple other guys, and then I think Miles Sanders, I want to say.
We're talking about the Panthers?
Yeah.
Who even knows about
him? You said,
right? Who knows about him? No one even knows. No one even cares about the Panthers.
I care because I want them to suck too, but I don't think they will. But we'll see. It's a shitty division.
Why do you want them to suck? Why do you want them to suck?
Because we get their number one draft pick next year. We're trading down to number 9. Otherwise, we were number 1. We kept trading out of the first picks of the first picks of every round almost, except before the draft even started. We did it twice. We traded for Chase Claypool, so we had no top of the second round pick, and then we traded down to number 9, and we had no top of the draft period pick. I think it was only like the third round, and maybe
what is wrong? What is wrong with the Bears then? What is it? Is it coaching? Is it
everything?
They don't have any balls. playing with rolled up tape.
Cheapskate owners.
So they're playing with rolled up tape. They just got tape and they roll it up like a ball and they throw it around. That's their practice balls.
I think it comes down to they're very sensitive. Robbie Gould, who probably is better than our current kicker Santos, called them out a long time ago for not spending enough money. And sure enough, when he had a slightly worse season, he's a Hall of Fame kicker, no doubt, they let him go. And unfortunately, we paid the price of the double doink by not having a real kicker that off season, and we got what we deserved for being cheapskates. And arguably, you could say the same thing, like, hey, maybe Roquan Smith didn't fit the scheme, but here's the message it sends. And I've had this conversation with relatives and fellow Bears fans. You're not going to attract the free agents if your team is known as a team that doesn't take care of its own. So you really think from that reputation, the players are going to want to play for your team. You're going to realize really quick when they're not signing with your team what they really think, because word gets around the league. The guys who leave, they go to other teams. They talk about, hey, what's it like to play for the Bears? And there it is. I mean, Roquan Smith, still really young. The Ravens gave him the long-term deal, but the Bears were not willing to do that. So I don't say conspicuous by the absence of their wallet, but I don't know. It was disappointing. I mean, we didn't get too much for it. I mean, he was one of my favorite players on the Bears, but and the thing that made it worse is how do you not know you're going to suck even worse when you trade him, and then you trade that pick before the season even begins for a trial receiver, hoping that he might show you something, and when you already know more than likely you're going to finish in the bottom 10, and you trade that pick for him. And yeah, it's just a series of stupidity stemming from the trade deadline last year. And we need a lot of help everywhere. And we did some good, I mean, character players. I mean, only one guy had a little bit of a checkered past, but I mean, I wouldn't even say that. He made a mistake. And I think most of them are just pretty solid character dudes. If you listen to the Bears evaluations of them and everything, and quick, explosive tacklers and awesome offensive linemen in the first round. So I'm happy with our draft.
Did you see draft day? This is it, right?
Not.
Did you ever
You're
see
gonna play the whole episode while we're watching
draft day? We'll probably get blocked. We'll probably get blocked on.
we would definitely. They only care about us when we play copyright material.
Kevin Costner, you got to see draft day. It will be the movie. Will be exactly what just happened, and that's what I mean. That's what it is. It's draft day is the movie. And I bet you when you watch it, you'll be like, holy cow.
It's 2023.
This is just what happened with Bo Callahan from draft day of the movie. Was this kid?
His name is Bo Callahan, like Bo Katan?
Yeah. And he didn't.
Will she get the Darksaber back? Will Bo Callahan get the Darksaber back to destroy the NFL?
And I'm going to show you something right now. Now, who was the kid that we said that didn't make it? What was that kid's name?
Who got drafted at the beginning of the second?
Second, yeah.
Will Levis. The Kentucky quarterback.
Now, I'm going to show you.
Now a Titan.
I'm going to show you Bo Callahan. You tell me that doesn't look like Will Levis. Right here. Look at that guy. Does that not look like Will Levis?
Kevin Costner?
No, this kid right here.
Oh, the kid who's in the movie playing that.
That's Kevin Costner.
To be honest with you, I don't even know what Will Levis looks like.
Oh, okay. So draft day. This is.
I thought that was the real Will Levis.
No,
for all I knew.
That's Bo Callahan to the left of your screen. That's Bo Callahan talking. This is where he says, "How come you didn't go? No one went to your birthday party, Bo." He's like, "I don't really want to talk about it. It's because you're an asshole. You're an asshole, and that's why the real life." And then who did we say? Will Levis.
Yes.
So look at that kid, and then say, "Wait a minute, that kid didn't get drafted right away," and everybody was kind of, don't really talk to him. And then all of a sudden you pull up Will Levis's face and he looks like Bo Callahan. I'm going to show you right here. Here it comes. Everybody hang on to your seat because here it comes.
That draft day image is going to be the thumbnail of our
Here it comes. Holy crap. He looks like Bo Callahan from draft day. And that's who that was. I'm telling
you. He doesn't have the shaggy slick back hair.
No, but that's because there's movies. He look cooler. But anyways,
he looks just like him if you eliminate his eyebrows, hair, and and everything else. Otherwise, it's him.
If you squint, you can see Bo Callahan in this picture.
The Simpsons recap episode. They haven't changed Phil Hartman. They haven't changed a bit, have they? And the animation's all from the first episode to the third season. The huge difference. They haven't changed a bit, have they?
Now, what did you think about him not showing up the second night and being in the green room? Did you hear about that?
I heard something about that.
He didn't show up.
He just decided, hey, fuck it, fuck you. I don't want to be here.
So I don't know if anybody remembers when that draft happened with God, his name now just slips me. It's the dude that got drafted by the Browns, and he was supposed to get drafted right in the beginning, and he fell to, I think, the third round. Damn, what was that guy's name now?
Oh, the quarterback.
Yeah, he was from Notre Dame.
Oh shit. Johnny Manziel,
No, he was a Notre Dame dude.
Bernie
It was-
Kosar.
yeah. Oh, here it is right here. Is Will Levis the real life Bo Callahan on YouTube? I'm
Spoken about
telling
this
you.
podcast, you know what it is. Make sure you like, subscribe, and notification bells.
Is he
The
the
author
real
of
life?
this.
This video.
It says, is Will, the guy says, let me know media, let him know media. And he writes, is Will Levis the
Plugging other
real
YouTube
Bo?
channels.
Huh?
I said plugging other YouTube channels.
That's all right. Maybe you get, he's only got 39 views. So he's up there with us. So
he's our brother podcaster from another mother.
he's about the same as us. So if anything, we're helping him. Maybe he'll help us. Maybe
Some strange dudes called Me Listen You Podcasts were plugging me the other day.
Quarterback from Kentucky.
Hear
Is he
this?
the real live Bo Callahan from Draft Day, the movie? Will Levis, a quarterback from Kentucky. He went undrafted day one of the draft. And kind of like in the movie, he went from being the quarterback that everyone wanted, that everyone said was a surefire number one. At his pro day, they were all excited. They thought he was going to be the best quarterback. But the closer they got to the draft, the more it came out that they thought he would be maybe the third. He went to maybe the second quarterback. Bryce Young will be first. C.J. Stroud will be before him. Then Richardson will be before him. Then they just now he
See, I'm not the only one that thinks this is like Draft Day of the movie. I'm telling you right now.
Who's behind this? Kevin Costner?
Maybe Kevin Costner is trying to make another
Dun,
movie.
dun, dun, dun.
Draft Day 2. Oh, Brady Quinn. That was his name, Brady Quinn. So Brady Quinn
Brady Quinn.
get drafted right away. And he was supposed to go early because I think he was part of the, and if I'm wrong, you guys can go ahead and write on our Me podcast, you listen, whatever. But he was part of the Heisman Trophy thing. And I thought Brady Quinn was supposed to go early in the draft. And the thing is, I don't think nobody picked him up for like how many draft picks. I'm thinking he was projected as potential first overall pick in the early mock drafts and had been invited to attend the draft in person. But he wasn't selected until 22nd pick in the first round by the Cleveland Browns. Do you remember?
Well, he didn't fall 3 rounds. He just fell to the bottom of the first round.
I remember he
Then
sat
they
there
traded back.
Hmm?
They traded back into the first round. Is that how they got him? They traded back into the first round and got him?
The Browns.
Or
Just like
yeah,
the movie Draft Day with Kevin Costner. It's the same thing. So they traded, they went back and forth, but Brady Quinn didn't go right away either.
It's almost like the league is rigged.
It almost feels like the league is a movie. It's a movie. I mean, Matt Leinart.
It almost feels like the league is an entertainment league, doesn't it?
I mean, Matt Leinart was a Heisman Trophy winner, and he got drafted by who? The Cardinals? Correct?
Correct. He didn't stay very long, did he?
No, because he was terrible. But he was a Heisman Trophy winner. So who knows? Maybe this kid who got drafted late, second round, maybe he's going to be another Purdy. Maybe he's going to kick ass.
Leinart was the guy that was the last guy who was replaced for Kyler Murray, right?
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Or was that somebody else? Oh, that was like Drew Rosen, was it? Or
I don't remember who was either.
not Drew Rosen, may have been a different Drew.
Leinart was like the Cardinals, like they thought that he was going to be the dude, like he was going to change.
Yeah.
So we'll just go straight into my pick. My Raiders picking an edge player, and they picked the dude Tyree Wilson, Texas Tech. I think it's a good pick for us. I think it's a good pick that we pick up and try to get back what we gave to the shitty Bears a long time ago, which was Mac, and totally screwed up our whole defense by giving up one of our best rushers, outside backers, to the Bears.
You got Josh Jacobs the following year, I think, or that year maybe.
Still,
you drafted him.
Sucked the balls. We sucked the balls and gave up a bullshit trades. So now we're still searching for that Mac that we need to fill that void. And we're hoping that this dude is the guy who's going to do it, because I'm thinking that they got quite a few defensive players.
Looks like they're doing a press conference. So Coach JC, how would you feel about the first?
So I'll tell
day
you what
one?
we did. Yeah, the first. I think our draft went really well, and we picked up quite a few defensive players. We also picked up a tight end player to give up our Waller, because we had to get rid of that guy too for whatever reason. We gave up a lot of good players, but we're hoping to come back this year and finish better than 6-11, because that's shitty. And I can't believe that we moved to Las Vegas to be a subpar team. So we need to stack our defense, and we've done it so far with Tyree Wilson holding on to the edge. He's 6'6", he's 275 pounds. That is a giant man. And then we went and got a tight end from Notre Dame. Everybody knows that Notre Dame is
Meyer, I think, right? Meyer.
Yeah, but he's pretty good. You know, he's a pretty good. Notre Dame is known for all their tight ends and running backs. So we picked up a 6'4", 265-pound guy, almost the same size as our outside linebacker there. And then
Mike Meyer?
Michael Mayer. We're not calling him Meyer, it's Meyer. And then we also picked up Byron.
Which one? Is he
line,
is he Austin Powers, or will he be Austin Powers for your team, or will he be the mass murderer from Haddonfield?
Maybe he'll show up wearing a Halloween mask, and that would be badass. Show up there in the first day. And then we also picked up a defensive line, Byron Young. We need some defensive linemen, 6'3", 292 pounds. That is a big man as well. Picked up a few defensive backs going into Al Davis days of picking up backs. And then we got a quarterback. We picked up a Purdue quarterback. Not sure that was a good pick. Who gives a shit about Aiden? We don't even know who this kid is, but we picked him up anyways because we got a backup, because our backup is who? Hoyer. Who the frick?
Hoyer.
Yeah, so then we picked up a DB, and then we went to my old Alma, the ASU Sun Devils, and picked up another defensive tackle, 6'2", 306-pound kid, Silvera. So we're going to do pretty well. We had 7 picks. I think we're going to kick ass this year. And who knows how many people are going to pick up that are undrafted. So, and let's just look at what the Bears did. You want to see what the Bears did?
Darnell Wright was chosen number 1 from the University of Tennessee, which I am familiar with.
He's an offensive lineman.
He is a beast. He is giant as well, and he has very good hands. And he actually was, coming into this, he was coming off a game where he was manhandling Will Anderson. Anderson actually gave him some high praise. So
I'm thinking you guys are the second most picks in the draft, because you guys got 10 picks.
Yeah, we started with, I think, 11, and we ended up going into it after our post trade with the Panthers. And yeah, I think we ended with 10 because we traded to get, I think we traded up and then we traded back. I think, yeah, somehow ended up with 10.
You didn't pick up any quarterbacks to back up your fragile quarterback that you guys have.
No, we have, what's his name? PJ Walker. He was ironically enough, the Carolina quarterback backup from last year.
That you're proud about that?
Yeah, he's very similar in as far as skill type as type of player than Field, so I think he'd slide right into the scheme pretty good. And yeah, he was serviceable for him. I mean, he wasn't atrocious. He wasn't like Baker Mayfield or what's his Sam Darnold.
Oh shit, I don't even know.
I'd take him over Trevor Siemian.
Sam Darnold's going to the USFL, I think, after this season. I think a lot of guys with the USFL, we're going to be picking a lot of these quarterbacks who are like third stringers are all going to go USFL.
XFL?
No, XFL.
The XFL playoffs are going on right now as we organize this podcast.
So to answer your question, we do run out of time with since we were sitting here talking earlier. So we have about 10 minutes left.
22-minute episode here on the draft.
It's actually 23 episodes. So we'll have about 32 in this. So let's just finish this up 10 minutes. I was going to ask you this question. So the draft, let's see how the ratings went for your draft picks. How do you think the Bears rated for their draft this year?
I agree with this to some extent. We were given a B plus, I think, and I would say a B for sure. I think it's with the potential. Obviously, we're going to find out in years to come, but I'd say arbitrarily a B for sure. B plus is probably.
So the A
that
team,
would be correct too.
They gave the Eagles an A plus.
Yeah.
And they gave the Panthers an A, but their big pick. And they gave the Texans, who I just shit on both teams. They gave them both A's. They gave the Steelers
Everything I've shit on.
I
is
shit
an
on.
A.
They all got A's. Motherfucker. They hope they're wrong. I know that I'm sitting behind a press conference.
And the Raiders draft grade, even though Coach
the
Shasey
Raiders
loves it,
I'm telling
is a C.
I think they did. The Raiders got a C, didn't they? The Raiders got a C, and I think it was a great pick. So you just go ahead and mark it right there. The Raiders are going to kick ass this year. They're going to be at least 7-10. So you didn't laugh at that? That was not funny, motherfucker. So Las Vegas Raiders got a C.
Correct. That's why.
C plus. They railed the first two picks. It says getting excellent value for both Wilson and Mayer.
C plus.
Form a incredible duel with Max Crosby off the edge. That's what I'm thinking. Their defense is probably going to pick up. So
I would have taken Crosby in a trade for the number 1 pick from you guys. But you didn't want it. You didn't want a quarterback. You have Garoppolo.
So now my next question to you is, as we wrap this up and we got the time coming in, which is the best
producer.
Which is the best football? I'm listening to the guy in the back. He's telling me. Which is the best football league outside the NFL? Which one do you think is going to survive longer and hang around, the XFL or the USFL?
Neither.
Well, one of them's got to stick around.
I mean, The Rock owns XFL, so I mean, he's probably got money to pump into it. But I mean, their advertising is atrocious. So, I mean, the fact that they launched and I didn't see one even streaming commercial means that they had horrendous advertising. The US, I think, probably seen one ad for that, maybe.
So the XFL, I think, did a pretty good job of trying to mimic the NFL by having a draft. They had a draft, correct? Do you remember
who did they draft? I remember the first one.
The XFL.
XFL. I don't remember this past draft. Do they redraft every year?
They had a draft, and they did in 2003 where they formed rosters, which they tried to create like an NFL type environment.
Yeah.
What I think the XFL is doing wrong is they're interviewing players after they make plays on the sideline, and they're talking to people on the sideline. I think that's real Bush League, and it kind of creates that environment where it's like the Major League Baseball when they talk to the managers in the dugout, and they go, "So what are you going to do right now?"
I seen on a Cubs Marlins game from last Sunday on Peacock. They were interviewing Jazz Chisholm, the center fielder, and he's in the middle. He's in the middle of an at bat, and he's in center field, and he's mic'd up the whole time. He's like, "Guys, I'm trying to concentrate here." Like, so what's the next pitch gonna be, Jazz? I'm like, "I'm trying to watch."
As he steps out of the batter's box, they're like, "So you think he's gonna throw a curve, or you think he's gonna throw a slider?"
They're telling him the scouting report says, "What would the catcher just made a signal for a slider, Jazz swing."
Our cameraman just gave us the call. Do you want to know it? Sure.
He's in center field. It's a long drive, Jazz. They're gonna have to probably back up for this one. Fucking him up. He's running all over the place.
So with the upcoming NFL season, and with them changing NFL ticket to YouTube, there's some big changes.
That is weird. That is
really interesting. And with the upcoming rumors that Roger Goodell may not be the commissioner next year, that just got released too. Do you think that the USFL or the XFL have a shot of competing with the NFL?
I don't think either one of them does. I look at the NFL as like a big mafia. You're not going to take them down. They're an institution. And I think
because of familiarity between us as fans, or is it really because the NFL is a much better? Because I watch the XFL and I can't get into it, and I'm not sure if it's just because I can't watch a team that I could give a shit less about, and the only one
that's one thing, yeah.
And the only one I'm watching that I just recognize the name is McCarron. He's the quarterback. I remember him from the NFL.
Oh yeah, AJ McCarron.
But it's like, other than that, I don't really know anybody on this team, and I really don't care other than the coaches. The coaches, a few NFL coaches, and then Wade's on there as a coach. That's it. I mean, he did a good job trying to make some kind of correlation between NFL and XFL. That's what I think the USFL lacks. The USFL lacks it's so detached from the NFL that no one really gives a shit. And that's what I think is the problem. But I really want to know if you think that I think you're right. The XFL has a lot of money behind it. So that would mean that since there's so much money behind this, there's probably going to be some kind of couple years before the XFL folds.
Yeah, you're going to have to spend money. If I'm one suggestion to the XFL is, I may have checked out some games, but I didn't even know the hell the damn thing was going on. So for people who might not be paying for cable anymore or whatever TV, get a hold of your streaming ads and do something. Let people know that you're out there, because
I'm not even sure there's going to be any more cable.
No clue that. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Why am I going to have DirecTV now? If that's the only reason I've had DirecTV is to watch the fucking NFL ticket. Now it's on YouTube. It's like telling me right there I'm going to probably have to just stop.
YouTube Red.
So that's while we're wrapping this up, the last 2 minutes. Do you think that the Arena Football League is over?
I don't watch it, so if I'm being honest, I don't know.
I think it's done. I mean, right now, Arena Football League is about one step away from the adult league I used to play in, the men's football league. After I played in college, I played in this men's football league where you just got pads on and played on fucking Saturdays.
Flag football, like the.
Oh, it was tackle. We played tackle in the park, but it was like a league, like a softball.
Tackle.
League. Yeah,
we all got to go to our jobs on Monday, so don't hit me too hard in the hip.
Oh. This comes from a guy who did pro wrestling. Similar shit.
I know.
So, anyways,
I never said it was bright or a good thing. Remember the promoting episode?
Yeah, I remember us fighting. We got in fights, and all I thought to myself is, I don't need some guy fucking punching me in the face and then going to work the next day. But I think
we're a few softball teased brawls. I remember one time my buddy was slid hard into third, and the other guy kind of whipped the ball down in front of him, and I ran out there, and it was just like me and one other guy. It was like, and he always remembered that. My buddy's like, at least you were out there. Appreciate that.
You guys rushed it.
There was only two of us. The rest of the team were cowards. The fuck are you guys doing? This is a brawl.
I got children. That's all they said.
Fuck that. I ain't going out there fighting. Look at the size of those guys.
They got bats.
No, they were the fielding team. We could have brought the bats.
They got gloves. You should have brought bats.
Yeah, they got gloves.
Should have totally made it into like The Wanderers, the movie.
It would have been pretty funny. I run out there with the bat and start swinging.
Yeah, start bopping people in the
head. shortest guy out there, but had fucking two bats in each hand, like Wolverine.
Whack-a-mole.
Yeah.
Everybody's just running away.
Three bats. Whack-a-mole.
So as we wrap this up, Me Podcast, You Listen, I'm going to make a prediction right now. The USFL is going to fold. The XFL is going to stick it out. And about 2 years from now, the XFL, I think, is going to have some steam behind it, and they're going to compete with the NFL. You watch. And then the Arena Football team, it's done. It's not going to see it anymore. All right, make sure you subscribe.
But
there's a little button down
like
here.
A casino. You're not going to beat the house.
There's a little button down here at the corner. You can subscribe. Also, check us out on all your podcasts, Spotify's, and it's not over there. And Spotify.
It's not over there.
Wait, it's over
on
there, right?
my screen, I'm right there.